What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris, man. Chris Drummond, sports reporter at the Marshall Independent. As y'all see, Marshall Independent on my hat, what I'm representing. I got a special guest that's going to be in the building. It's Marshall's own Michael Foley. He is the head coach for the Marshall, a hockey team that's 12 and under. They're actually going to be going out to state, so we send them off this Thursday morning. So I'm going to talk to him about his why into coaching, ask him some questions about his life as well, choice of school, get to know him as well, because this is what this is about. This is the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast where we have conversations about finding out your why and getting to know you beyond your occupation. So, without any further ado, I introduce to you Mike Folk. Mike, what's going on today? How we doing? What's going on today? How we doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. Good.
All right, all right. How's your weekend been?
Fantastic. Still,
Fantastic. Glad to hear that.
still flying from last weekend.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's awesome. Just want to say thank you for hopping on my podcast. Work hard, play harder. Um, Love to have conversations with people in the community, find out their why, and get to know them beyond their occupation. Um, I want to start off by asking you, how are you and your family doing during these pandemic times?
Um, I'd say pretty good. I lost my mom just before the pandemic hit,
Wow.
probably about right when it was hitting.
Yeah.
So obviously the timing wasn't good, but we actually got to stay in the hospital with her while she was sick with colon cancer.
Right.
And had it been even a month later, we wouldn't have been able to stay with her. So the timing was actually kind of good. So, but other than that, my the rest of my family seems to be doing pretty good. They're all going to make the trip up north next weekend.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to get into that. Congratulations, by the way,
Thank you.
to you and your team. And we'll definitely talk about that as well. I see we got a visitor to your right. Who is that?
That's my dog.
What's his or her name?
Uh, dude,
Dude. Oh,
dude.
okay. I like that. I like that. That's nice. I'm a dog lover, so
Oh,
anytime
me
that I
too.
can,
Yep.
see about dogs, I'm gonna definitely shout them out for sure. Okay. Um, I want to ask you about any aspirations or maybe inspirations you might have had coming up early in life, and what gravitated you towards a career in coaching.
Okay. Well, I guess my dad's always been a hockey player. He scored the first goal in Elk River High School hockey history.
Wow.
So from the very get-go, it was hockey, hockey, hockey. And I'd say I think it was about 1976 that he just said, "Hey, do you want to play hockey?" And I said, "Yeah." So we went down to the local sports shop, got some skates and a stick and a helmet, and went out and threw me on the ice. He said, "Away I skated." So it's always just been in my blood from
I
birth.
got you. I got you. What position did you play?
Depending, I usually played center.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
So
Okay.
and power plays and such, I played defense, but mostly center.
Mostly things.
Yep,
Okay, got you. So as I was doing some research, I saw that you went to MSU. Now it's called Minnesota State University Mankato.
correct.
Um, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to MSU Mankato?
Well, to tell you the truth, it wasn't my first choice. My first choice was Bemidji State, um, and I went up there and had a real bad experience with the just the showing of the school and things like that. It was
Yeah,
felt like to me that they felt like they were wasting their time, and I made my mind up and had a buddy that was going to Mankato, and I decided, hey, let's go. We'll live together for the first year in the dorms, and that's what happened. So
okay. Was it so it was just that one school that you had in mind, and then you just said we'll just go to MSU?
well, there was a few schools, mostly the state schools.
Okay.
I didn't want to go to Southwest State. I don't want to be at home anymore. So I
Mhm.
definitely wanted to get away. And I thought, Mankato's about the perfect, distance. I can get back if I want to, or I can stay there if I want to. So that was part of the decision. I really hadn't decided what I wanted to do.
Right.
Um, because we had a family business that once I graduated, I was going to come back to and work. So it's just kind of came down to Mankato maybe had the better business school, and that's why I just
Gotcha.
ended up deciding
Okay.
that.
I like that. You said family business. So if
Yeah.
you don't mind me asking, Mike, what was the family business?
Eco Water Systems right here in Marshall. My dad bought that in 1980. We moved down from Pine City to Marshall in 80.
Mhm.
And my dad retired here about 2 years ago when my brother actually took over the business. So
Okay, I like that. Eco
and
water system.
he's my assistant coach too.
Oh, okay. Assistant coach on the team. Got you.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Mike, I'm gonna ask you some favorite questions, okay? And you
Okay.
just give me the 411 of what some of your favorites are based upon these questions, okay?
Yep.
Here we go. Favorite music genre?
Favorite music
Yes, genre.
genre? Oh,
Yes.
rock and roll. Probably
Okay.
probably hard rock, maybe like 80s, 70s and 80s rock.
Okay, I like
Yep.
that. So, okay, when you're driving down the streets of Marshall,
Yep.
what's that one song that comes on that that you just start maybe even singing to? You know all the words to. What's that
Probably
song?
anything by Zeppelin, The Who, AC/DC,
Mm,
um, Electric Light Orchestra, anything by any of those types of bands.
okay, okay, I like that. I like that. What's your favorite movie genre?
Oh, jeepers, probably comedy.
Okay, all right. There are a couple movies that come to mind and some of your favorites.
Oh shoot, Fletch. You ever
Mm,
heard of Fletch? It's Chevy Chase.
mm,
Um, it's kind of a slapstick comedy. It's pretty good one. Spies Like Us, Young Guns,
yep,
um,
I know about those. Okay,
Shawshank Redemption.
yeah.
Those movies they come on, and I end up watching the rest of it all the time. So
I know Chevy Chase from the National Lampoon movie. So the National Lampoon movies, I know him from there. Those are
yeah,
comedies, no
yeah,
question about it. Those are
yeah.
comedies. Okay, I like that. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh goodness, I don't like to cook. Pasta, pretty much anything with pasta in it.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm a ziti guy, so I like ziti. I'm not a huge cooker,
yeah,
but I do like pasta. Is very easy to make.
yeah.
Spaghetti is very easy. I like that. Okay. Favorite place you ever traveled to?
Spain.
Okay. Well, did you travel there? Was it a family trip? Was it a school trip? What trip was that?
So I took Spanish in high school and college, but I didn't really want to go um, with my class. I had an exchange student stayed with our family when I was a sophomore in high school, and he was from Spain. And rather than go on the Spanish trip with the school, I decided me and a buddy who had relatives in Germany decided to go stay with my exchange student and his family for a couple weeks, and then we went to Germany, France,
Hmm.
Switzerland. Yeah, so I was only 16 years old, but it was the most incredible thing I've ever done.
Oh yeah, that had to be at that
Yeah.
age. Wow. Okay, I like that.
Yep.
This is the last of the favorite questions.
All right.
Favorite, uh, favorite alcoholic drink.
Oh, if it's not Coors Light, I'd probably go with some sort of Canadian whiskey, maybe like Crown Royal, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. I want to get into when you started coaching. You said hockey was in your blood because your dad played, and then you played, and now you coach in the 12 and under girls in Marshall here. Uh, what is your coaching like resume? Like when did you first start coaching? What ages have you coached from? If you can explain to that.
So when I got back from college, started working in my dad's business. I still had the itch to skate. And when I came back, it just so happened, like someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, you interested in maybe getting into coaching?" And I said, "Yeah, I would." My brother happened to be at the high school level at that time, and so they offered me to do. It would probably be at that time like the 12U boys team,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
just said, I really don't want to because it's going to take a lot of time away from me being able to go watch my brother play.
Right.
So they asked if I'd be interested in doing the junior gold team, which was the high school age level at that time. And I said, yeah, I would absolutely do that. So then I got to, the privilege of coaching my brother for 2 years while he was in high school. So, yeah.
Okay. Now how long have you been coaching at the 12 and under girls level?
This is only the second year.
Second year you've
Yeah.
done. Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
I
Awesome.
mostly did bantams over the course of the last it's got to be 27, 28 years. I've probably did bantams maybe 15 years,
Okay.
14, something like that. Yeah.
And for those that will possibly watch this,
Yeah.
what exactly is bantam?
Bantams would be 14, 15-year-old boys.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Got you. Awesome. I appreciate that. What is your coaching style like?
What's
You know,
my coaching?
yeah, because you have different coaching styles. Me,
Yeah.
I love hockey. There's sometimes the aggressive coach, but then there's also sometimes the coach that's laid back and that I gave you the game plan. If you guys want to execute it, cool. If not, we're not going to win the game. What is your kind of style of coaching?
Well, I tell you, it used to be rule with the iron fist, but over the years, I've learned that uh, I like to think that I take the strengths of our team and focus on that. So I don't necessarily come in with a practice plan and say, hey, we're going to do this for 7 minutes, and then we're going to do this for 7 minutes and this for 7 minutes, because sometimes 7 minutes might not be enough, so I don't always come in with like a concrete plan, but the plan is always to get the kids to do it correctly before we move on to the next thing. So, discipline, I think any of the kids would say, yeah, there's plenty of discipline, but just as much that way as, a pat on the back for doing something well. So I think there's a lot of positivity. Um, and I focus as much on that as I possibly can.
I like that. I like that answer, Mike. I do. And obviously, kids are doing very well. Winning the tournament, heading to state. Talk about that. Talk
Sorry,
about that.
dog.
Oh, you're good. You're good. No problem. No worries. Talk about that past this past weekend that you've had the tournament, and talk about how that went, and what is it the feeling that you have of going now to state and getting the send off early in the morning on Thursday.
Okay, well, the weekend was basically, it was the regional tournament. We play in District 4, and the region is set up where there's 3 districts, 3 teams from 2 of the districts and 2 teams from the other one. Mm-hmm. The top 2, the top 3 come to a regional site that's predetermined. We bid for those things every year, and then the state decides or the region decides where it goes. Mm-hmm. So we were fortunate enough to have it this year, and we were actually 2nd seed in our district behind Laverne, who was the number 1 team in the state all year long. Right. And then we ended up with just by chance the toughest region in the state. There was 6 top 20 teams in the state of Minnesota that were in our region. Right. So it was kind of unfortunate at first, but and I talked with the coaches and the girls. It's like, we've got to beat them eventually to get where we want to go. So going into it, there was nervousness. The first team we played, I hadn't seen them at all. Hadn't seen anything about them. They didn't post a lot of their scores, so we didn't know who they played and stuff like that. And we came out and we were flying. We played really, really well. Just could not score. I think we had 45 shots without a goal. Their goaltender was just that good, and that's why they were in the tournament. And then we kind of broke the seal in the 3rd period, scored 4 goals, and beat them 4-0.
Wow.
So then we come up to the number 2 team in the state, Minnetonka, their blue team.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what to expect. We knew they were going to be good. They played Laverne a couple times really close. So we thought, well, we got to put our best game on the ice, and we went out and we did that. We beat them 3-0 with great goaltending.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was a fast-paced game. That was actually probably my favorite game of the year. I thought the girls just played that well. And then, of course, we knew who we were going to meet in the finals. It was going to be Laverne. Right. Because, that's who we always end up playing in the finals for some reason. But the thing about it is, the last time we played them down in Laverne, the score doesn't dictate. It was 5-1. They got an empty netter to beat us at the end there. But we played them really, really hard, really tough. And we skated with them and we shot with them. And so we knew that we could play with them. Right. Whether or not the puck would bounce our way or not. We weren't so sure. We just went out there and put everything we had on the ice, and I guess it turned out pretty good for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what was the final score of that game?
4-3 in overtime. We beat them.
Wow. What overtime thriller. That's the way you do it, right? That's the way you got to close out the number one team, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. So
I
we
like
actually
that.
we took a 2-goal lead, and then we got late into the second period, and Laverne scored 3 goals. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, within a couple minutes of each other. And we thought, oh,
Wow.
here we go.
Mm.
Here we go. And at that point, the kids could have just gone, yep, here we go again. It's happening again, because it always does. And they didn't. They did not quit. They played their hearts out, and we scored the tying goal in the third, went into overtime, and like about a minute 20 left in overtime, my captain took off, broke away, and stuffed it in the back of the net for the win. And now we're going to state.
I love it. I love it. And two quick follow up questions. Who's your captain? Who's the captain of the team?
So Brooklyn Mauk is our captain, and then we have the alternate captains. In hockey. It's a little different than other sports. The captain wears the C, and the alternate captains wear an A.
Okay.
And that would just be if the captain was in the penalty box and we needed one of the other girls to do something, whatever. So they're alternate captains. One is Ava Colander, and then the other one is Avery Kestelut.
That's awesome. Awesome that you have 3 captains on the team. I would love to know, what is a pregame speech like from the coach to the players? The players are already excited and already excited, ready to play. But sometimes, you got there's those certain words that you say to a team that gets them even more locked in. What was the pregame speech like when you talked to them facing Laverne, knowing that this is going to be a tough contest?
Well, I kind of went away from the norm, what we usually do. These kids are young, so we don't use profanity around them. We make sure that the coaches don't. And I just said, you just beat the second ranked team in the state of Minnesota, and you didn't even let them score a goal. I said, and now you have your nemesis. I said, and I tell you what, I hate Laverne. I said, so go out and kick their expletive. And the girls just got super excited. I was debating whether to do it or not, but apparently it was the right choice. So
yes, it was. It got you to there. That's awesome. I love that. Coach, I want to do this or that with you. And what this means is I'm going to throw 2 things at you. You choose one or the other, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas.
Okay. Popeyes or KFC?
Oh, Popeyes.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Okay. I like that. Drive-in or movie theaters?
Oh, goodness. I haven't had a drive-in 30 years. I'm not really a big go to the movies type of guy, but I'd probably have to go with the movie theater.
Okay. I like that. Basketball or football?
Football.
Baseball or hockey?
Hockey.
Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux?
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky. Okay. This one has to do with chicken wing flavors, Coach. Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Dry or wet?
Oh, wet.
Bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
Gotcha. I like that. Decisive, too. I like that. We got 3 more.
All right.
Spain or Minnesota?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Spain or Minnesota?
Oh, I got to go with Minnesota, my home.
That was a tough one, I know. Okay. Led Zeppelin or the Rolling Stones?
Led Zeppelin.
Okay. Last one here, and this is the wacky sports right here. Would you rather play badminton or would you rather bowl?
Badminton.
You're the first person to say that. Okay.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. No, you're good. I like that. I do, because I used to play badminton a long time ago. Many people say bowling, but they're not good, and some people just flat out don't know what badminton is. They'll talk to you on.
Oh, yeah. We played in high school a lot in Phi class, and man, I just loved it. It was so much fun.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. What would you say are some challenges when it comes to coaching, like pros and cons? Obviously, there's probably a lot more pros than cons, but there definitely has to be some kind of challenges. What would you say of being a coach is a challenge?
Um, Probably the biggest challenge I've run into would be parents probably.
Mhm.
Parents not staying out of the team stuff. Obviously, they have to have a pretty large part, but when they start getting into the hockey part of it, it gets to be a hassle because the girls are hearing one thing at home, and then they come to the rink and they're hearing other things from the coach. So
Right.
we try like crazy to let them know, hey, let your parents tell you because they think they know what they're doing. But then when you walk away, just you still had to remember that. But they're not in the locker room with you. They're not on the ice with you. They're not in the box with you during the game. We are, and we know what you're capable of and what you're not. And we just have to trust each other if we want to, this to be successful.
Yeah, you brought up a real good, different perspective because I really didn't even think about that. But yeah, a lot of coaches sometimes, parents come to games, you hear them shouting for their kids, and then sometimes they'll go up to the coach after the game because they have suggestions or ideas that they think is going to work in the game. So yeah, that would be challenging. That would be challenging for sure. What is four things in the city of Marshall? The top four question. What are four things in Marshall that I must do in town? I've been here 6 weeks. This is my 6th week here. So I'm fairly new to Minnesota. And the
Okay.
only thing that I don't like is the cold. That's it. It's freezing up here. But other than that, that's okay. Everything else has been great. But what should I do in Marshall that's like four things that's like must do?
Well, number one is get out to the hockey rink and watch a game. Um,
Yeah. Got you,
I
coach.
um, number two, boy, that's a heck of a good question. I don't know. I think I just take everything for granted so much because I've been here so long that I don't really know
Right.
what, um, uh, you know, drive out through the industrial park and just take a look at just the incredible amount of the buildings and the commerce, the just everything out there. It for a town this size, it's actually pretty impressive. The Runnings warehouse out there is just massive. You just won't even believe it. So, just take a drive through town and kind of look at the stuff and say, Marshall, actually, for a small town, it has quite a bit to offer as far as that stuff's concerned.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Um, the next question that I have for you is what would you say to anyone that wants to join uh, either your team or that maybe is a 12 and under girl that's looking to join the team or looking to play hockey? What kind of encouraging words would you say to get them to join a team?
Well, great question because oddly enough, last year we had three girls start and play for the very first time in their lives organized hockey. Um, and now look at them; they're on the a state tournament team. So um, it's never too late to start.
Mhm.
And the other thing is, lots of people there's a misconception of hey, hockey is so expensive, we can't get involved, we can't get started, we can't afford to do it. Well, Marshall Hockey takes care of that when you first start. They have all kinds of programs, they have equipment. Um, there's just such a minimal cost to start in the program. So don't let that be a determining factor. Get your kids out there. It's basically free to anyone who wants to.
Mhm.
They'll be provided with all that stuff. So get them out there, see if they like it. Most likely they will because just we very rarely lose kids from the program. Um,
Mhm.
but it really isn't expensive to get started in hockey.
Okay, I like that. I like that. And when does the next? I mean, obviously you guys are going to state this time, but when does the next season come around for people to start
Um,
wanting to get involved?
we usually start like I think it's end of September, early
Okay.
October, I believe so.
Okay.
Um, I don't remember exactly, but right around that time frame. I think sign up is in August, maybe. So
Okay.
you
Nice.
just go,
Very good.
you can just go to the Marshall Amateur Hockey website and all the information is there. It has registration, anything you'd need or contacts in order to get what you need if you can't find it on that website.
I like that. I like that. I got two more questions for you, Mike. You've been
Okay.
absolutely awesome so far. This next question has to do with advice. What advice would you give someone that is interested in possibly being a coach, or someone who, maybe not in coaching hockey, but just a coach overall in general? Somebody was to look at this and they would be interested in being a coach. What kind of advice would you give?
Well, I tell you, for me, um, I guess I do it simply because I get so much out of it. It takes some time. You put your time in and stuff like that, but what I get out of it is 100-fold to what I put into it. And if you like kids at all and you're interested at all, you can always just give it a chance, just give it a shot. Um, if it's not for you, it might not be for you. But I think if you like a sport that much and you like kids, you'll get hooked and you want to be there. You'll just want to be there.
I like that. I do. And this last question is, how long do you see yourself coaching? You've talked about coaching you've been a coach for about 28 plus years. How long do you see yourself continuing to go on and still be a coach?
Oh, I don't know. I've actually probably only coached 20 seasons, 21, something like that in the last
Okay.
28 years.
Okay.
There was a few times when, I took a break from it here and there for different reasons, but um, um, boy, I don't see myself getting out of it anytime soon.
I love that. I love it. Okay.
The hard part is I could say, hey, I have another niece on the team this year and she'll be on this team next year and then she'll be gone, so I could move on after that. But the problem is then I'll have the younger kids from next year and I won't want to leave them. You just get so attached to these kids and you just want to see them, succeed and enjoy the sport that they love. And if I can help them do that, I will. And that's why it would be hard for me to get back out of it again.
Well, Coach, I mean, obviously you're doing a great job coaching. Obviously got a team going to state. Do you know who your first opponent's going to be?
We play Apple Valley, Burnsville, Eastview. There are 3 high schools up in the cities, and I don't know why there's 3 of them together like that, but I suppose maybe their girls programs don't have enough or whatever. I don't know, but seems like 3 pretty big schools, but so we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, well, listen, I truly thank you for sitting down with me. I felt like I learned a lot about you. You're a Popeyes man, which is great. We can eat some chicken together, that's for sure,
Sounds
because I'm
good.
Popeyes. And you love what you do with that passion. You're very good at it. And a great encouraging words for anybody that wants to sign up for the 12 and under team, knowing that they're going to get a great coach and a great experience. And you don't have to be experienced in order to play. Just sign up, and if you love to do it, love to be around people, why not learn a new skill and learn a new sport? I really do appreciate your time, Coach Foley, and I will be there. We'll be there on the send off early in the morning. That's for sure. When you guys ride out, so I will be there. I always end my podcast like this. Is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude?
Go Tigers. Hey, thanks so much for your support. We really, really appreciate it. It's nice to know that the community is behind us, and I think basically it's kind of starting with you guys over at the newspaper there. So we really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, Coach. Absolutely. Well, you enjoy, take care, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will definitely be in touch.
All right. Thanks.
No problem.